Welcome to The Reckoning. I'm your host, Big Daddy. You got my man, Coach D, man Lex. Thank you for joining us once again. Remember to like, comment, share on our podcast as we keep this going. All right, guys. Once again, help us, Jesus.
Want some Tylenol?
Tylenol is not strong enough. They need to bring back Vioxx because that's the type of strength I need right now. But no, I'm gonna be good. All right, we kicking it off with the Ravens blowing the lead once again. Help us, Jesus. All right, I'm gonna go first. But I'm gonna be level-headed about this. This L yesterday is not about the fourth down call. Was I originally livid about the fourth down call? Full disclosure. Yeah, my children knew not to come in the room. My niece came over, and my daughter told her, "Not right now," and it was good advice. Yesterday is about a couple things. One, Patrick Queen, I'm talking directly to you. You're a Raven. I respect you. I want you to do great. In order to go from good to great, catch the ball. It's 2 weeks in a row. You done had interceptions hit you in between the numbers, hit you in the hands, and I guess the hands is the wrong place to hit you. If you catch the interception before the half, they don't score. Yep. We go into half 20-3. Good to great. It's good to knock the pass down. It's great to catch the ball. The other problem that nobody's talking about is our red zone offense is trash. You cannot go around kicking field goals when you get in the red zone. And yesterday, truth be told, Lamar just had a bad game. There's a play in the red zone where Mark Andrews beats his guy on the outside. All Lamar got to do is get the ball up and down. It's a touchdown. It's different. He missed that. The refs missed the call on Andrews coming across the middle. They call offensive pass interference. Nobody knows what they were looking at. But okay, you cannot get down there and settle for field goals on the aforementioned 4th and 2 play. My man Duvernay was open in the corner.
He was open.
Forever. And then when Lamar throws it, it's too late, it gets picked. They have to get better in the red zone if you want to be considered great. When you get in the red zone, you got to score. And I know but as an offense, you have to feel like it's a failure if we're kicking 21-yard field goals.
Yeah.
Because that means you done got down there and it's been bogged down. If you're going to be elite, you got to score in the red zone. So it's easy to look at Harbaugh and say the 4th and 2 decision was bad, but they did drive down the field and they would have been able to score. So he was right about the decision. The execution was piss poor.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
Where I'm gonna give you a little bit of credit is every week. I want to say even going back to last season, you yelling at Harbaugh about 4th and 1 should have kicked the field goal. So whereas you not put the whole game on him, this is consistent behavior. You done came to me more than 10 times like, why didn't this man take the points? So that's an issue. Overall, red zone, definitely agree with you, is an issue. There's no point of having time of possession. There ain't no point of running the ball down, Lamar running the ball down, and you getting down there and getting no points at all. Miami game, y'all were up. Y'all lost. Patriots game, y'all were up. Y'all still won the game.
But we all know.
You let the points come back. This week, y'all gotta finish games. And y'all go out hot. They go out hot. First half is good.
There's a B side to this, and I'm gonna call out EDC too. Eric DeCosta, it's too early to tell whether you're a good GM or a bad GM.
Oddly's still in the building. What's going on though?
I don't know why anyway, that was to keep Eric. They didn't want Eric to leave. I'm gonna leave that alone. The roster needs depth. Because the problem in the second half is you only barely have 4 this pass rushing, and in the second half, they have nothing left. You need an 8-man rotation. See his Eagles. Like when you keep them fresh, they go hunt. And yesterday, it wasn't that we weren't getting close, it's where we weren't finishing. Now, I'm not going to put all of that on because Josh Allen is huge. He is the new Ben Roethlisberger. He just be shaking people off. But you got to put him down on the ground. But some of it's roster. Now, the other part of it, and we'll go to you, Lex. The other part is, the other team makes adjustments. You have to adjust to the adjustments. So if you get 20 in the first half, You're on pace for 40. And then if they adjust in the third quarter, you have to adjust to what they did. You can't keep running the same stuff. The other problem, too, is we can't run the ball effectively. No. Like, if it's not Lamar, we can't run.
That's my problem. That's my problem with all this. I put about 65% on the offensive line. Your offensive line is hurt. I'm sorry. It is decimated. But this is the second week in a row that I've seen the Ravens not use J.K. Dobbins effectively.
Agreed.
J.K. Dobbins, we all thought, man, is he going to come back? Is he going to show that burst, that power? Man, the first 2 weeks, this is a wonderful indication. And it looks like he still got it. They gave him 13 carries. And I understand Baltimore's trying to change. They're trying to adjust their offense. They're trying to be a little bit more like pass along with how the league is, you know, trying to throw it more. And I get that. And especially if you trying to pay Lamar Jackson $300 million, you need to see if you can throw the ball. I get that. But at the same time, you have no balance. If I know that you can't run,
you're right.
Well, I'm gonna sit deep and I'm gonna let my linebackers handle it. But my problem is this. But here's the problem. Lamar Jackson was 20 of 29 for 144 yards, which is 5 yards a pass.
Because they're all out to the flat.
But see, that's what I mean. If you and they're sitting on that. And so my whole thing is
who gonna beat you?
Well, yeah.
And then
you got Duvernay.
I take that back. I said that incorrectly. He doesn't have the line right now to allow his receivers to get deep.
Well,
you can't take 5, 7, 9, 7 drops with this line. No. So preferably Ronnie Stanley is getting healthy and getting closer. But the other thing, we have too many tails too. So when Isaiah Lockley is on the field, you know, we're not running. Sure as he's on the field, we're not running.
Isaiah Lockley can catch,
but he can't block.
Yeah,
and so until he can block, or until you can put him in situations where his blocking is not necessary, like we're going away from you, you can't put him on. It's an automatic tell. Isaiah Lockley's on the field, pass, they're throwing, and we know it changes everything. Your offense can't be that predictable.
It's true, man, but I guess my whole problem with this is your identity the last, at least I'd say 4 years, but at least since Lamar's been there, you run the ball.
Agreed.
The Ravens have been known about playing defense and running the ball. Well, you don't play defense. So you got to at least run the ball to protect your defense. If you know that, and that's not even to say that they didn't play a good game. They actually played a good game yesterday. But the problem was,
I would say, like,
they played a good game, but the problem is,
our defense is not great.
It's not.
But if you give up 23 points to the Buffalo Bills at home,
that's amazing.
You should win that game.
Yes.
If you hold Buffalo to 23,
if you can run the ball like you have clock management, you win that game.
Exactly.
You don't even give them the choice to do the 4th and 2 because they never even get the chance.
And as a passer, Josh Allen was held in check yesterday. And Stephon Diggs didn't kill you yesterday.
Nope.
What killed you yesterday is Josh Allen running.
Yes.
And we just decided, well, we're not going to change our defense. We're just going to let him keep running. And I told y'all, their Achilles heel is going to be running back. And I know they were mad yesterday because they wanted to let Singletary score and let the offense get the ball back. If you go back and watch the clip, and the clip is on Twitter, Adoué almost knocked that ball out.
Yes,
Singletary had to reach down to his knee and grab that ball back. Buffalo's running backs are not great. They're great pass catchers.
Yeah.
They're not great runners. The Ravens have to learn how to finish. If they don't, this is going to be a wasted season. Because you can see, as depleted as the roster is, and the missing pieces, and the bad offense,
they fight.
They play with great teams.
They do.
And so it's like, you're not far. You're just missing a piece here or there. Hopefully, it can come together.
This is what I'll leave it at this. There's only been 8 teams in NFL history that have lost back-to-back. Actually, not even back-to-back. Let's just say it like this. There's only 8 teams in NFL history that have lost 2 16-plus point leads. There's only been 8. And so to be in that category, as Coach Lee was talking about, if you can't finish games, you're a terrible team. You could be great. If you're great for the first 58 minutes and you can't close a game, you don't deserve to win.
This next thing we're going to talk about is who we need to look to offensively.
But before we go there, real quick, we had 2 MVP candidates playing. All right, it's week 4. Which one's in the lead? With Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen?
Neither.
They both played bad.
No, they played horrible yesterday, and right now the front runner is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because
we gonna talk about it.
Look, 4-0 is 4-0.
No.
So,
I haven't seen the Buffalo Bills team be 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. We done seen this before. We'll talk about it later. Let's go to the offensive team.
You say all that. That was then. This is now. We in the now. The team the Ravens need to be looking to for how to efficiently continue to run their offense.
Yeah.
Is that team they don't want to see. Them Chiefs.
Man.
What the Chiefs did is they got up. And then they kept scoring.
And then they stepped on their throat.
And then they kept scoring.
And everyone got a ball. And everyone got a pass.
And Brady ends up scoring them 31. But it don't matter when we drop 41 on them. Like, you can't stop scoring. There's not this relaxation when they get up. It's like, all right, let's keep going. Let's just, you cannot relax.
But this is my thing with Kansas City. We saw the amazement yesterday. We saw the stage. That tells me last week when y'all faced Indy, y'all played down to your competition.
Absolutely. I mean,
like y'all went into that week like, oh, this is easy, and y'all lost the easy one.
Yes, but there's a B side to that. They went into Indy and Andy didn't run the ball. And we talked about it last week. Andy came in this week, we about to run this rock ball. And we'll talk about it later, but they ran the rock effectively, and when you run it like that,
you can
they are hard to defend.
It's hard to look. That's what I gotta say. I love that Andy ran the ball. I appreciate him because coming back from Eagles and having a running back like Brian Westbrook. Sometimes you see Brian Westbrook's name called 3 times the entire game. So he's come a long way. But at the end of the day, it's about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was amazing. Let's 360 over the, kind of like a jumper pass, but, let's take that away. Brady threw for 340 yards, and it didn't matter. Patrick Mahomes threw for 249 yards, and it felt like Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback who played this week.
But that's
it's just like
that's the point. Is that we get so infatuated with the numbers, and numbers tell part of the story, but not the entire story. Right. Brady started throwing like that when they were
down.
Nothing deep, nothing cheap, nothing deep. They started playing that back coverage. He's going underneath, and Brady made some nice throws. The throw to Mike Evans in the end zone. It's a great throw. I'm not taking that away from him, but it was when they were already down. Again, the run game allowed Patrick to not have to force
balance.
That run game makes Travis Kelce.
If you run the ball, you can't stop Travis Kelce.
No. We just need to put this out here. My number 1 tight end of all time is Mr. Shannon Sharp. Like I know the number, but it's a different league.
He's the trendsetter.
Shannon Sharp was that dude, and if you don't know, go watch the film.
Go watch Unc. Shannon was different, man.
Kelce coming. Kelce coming, and where Kelce and Gronk have been better than what Shannon was. Shannon wasn't red zone down.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't a jump ball guy.
He's 6'2".
Yeah. So Kelce in the red zone and Gronk in the red zone is different. And Kelce, man, if you gonna play him 1-on-1,
hey, just lose.
That's an L.
Like the only person,
because he's a wide receiver.
Yes.
It's not fair.
The only person who's ever really, and we can actually use the word shut him down, was Levante David. But if we really want to be honest, the reason why Levante David shut him down is because Patrick Mahomes' toe was completely destroyed.
Not only that, they were missing 4 linemen.
You're right, but if we've seen that Patrick can get over.
Yeah.
But if Patrick, Levante
it's
David,
a little different.
It's a little different. And look, Travis Kelce different, man. He different.
But if they gonna run like that, and then the other pieces show up enough, because that's the thing. He don't need them to be Tyreek Hill.
No.
He just needs them to be there when he needs them there. And yesterday, they were there.
We talk about complete team. And again, you're not going to have the best defensive players where everyone shows up. If you got 80, I'm giving you 80. Offensive line, working together. Patrick Mahomes, of course, quick release, seeing the whole field.
Yep.
This is a complete team.
It is.
Great coaching, Andy Reid. Super Bowl.
And I'm gonna say this, and look, you're not wrong. But look, this is what I will say. I'll say this right now. If Chris Jones keeps
That's where I was about to go.
playing like Chris
That's
Jones.
where I was about to go.
The Chiefs
They different.
are different.
They
like
different.
their back end ain't the same. L'Jarius Sneed is a good corner / safety, whatever he plays on a given day. But look, Chris Jones is a monster.
No, when
he and Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, I don't really call him he's not an interior lineman, but he and Aaron Donald may be the best defensive tackles in the game.
Ain't no maybe.
Man,
They are. Like Fletcher's in his latter days, so
Yeah.
Fletcher's not in the conversation.
But, man,
no,
Chris Jones,
and he makes everybody on the line better,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to cover as long. Justin Reed got dinged yesterday,
Yeah, he did.
but trust me, Justin Reed the ball hawk, and he makes him better because the ball has to come out.
Yep.
And they're not a great defense, but they're good in the right
good
spots.
enough. They're good enough in.
I do feel like
spots.
they miss Tyrann Mathieu.
They do.
I do because you're gonna miss a player that's that smart.
Yeah.
But they're still pretty
Kansas
good.
City's dangerous. You're right. They dangerous.
Speaking of dangerous, who Lord, I think you guys gonna have to say this.
Oh, God.
You know, Jerry Jones
I hate this.
spoke some things into existence, and now we got a quarterback controversy in Dallas, or so he hopes. If it was you, and Dak is healthy on Sunday, would you let Dak play or would you let Cooper Rush play?
I'm gonna let Cooper Rush play so Dak can have an extra week of rest. But it's not because there's a controversy. Cooper Rush is not the answer. Jerry Jones, I don't know what he be trying to get that dopamine high. Like I don't know what he be doing. He be on Twitter like I need some attention. Like there's no controversy at all. All right. Dak needs to rest. Let's not rush a quarterback back. Cooper Rush doing his job as a backup, being a substitute. You have a game plan. You have a teaching plan for us. Teachers, you have a teaching plan, a sub list. Do your job. And in a week, Dak Prescott will be back to be the starter of the Dallas Cowboys. They might make the playoffs and be done soon. So, I mean, this Cowboy season don't really change. I don't know why we're talking about this.
All right. As an Eagles fan, how you feel? Who scares you more? Truthfully.
Dak. Because Dak might throw for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You should be scared of Jerry Jones more than Dak Prescott.
I'm more scared of Tony Pollard than both of them, but I'm just saying. So, here's the problem. We said this about, who was it? It was like, you come in, you got no tape. I have no tape on you. I don't know I don't know your
3 weeks of tape.
I got 3 weeks of tape. And then, here's the other thing. It's not just 3 weeks of tape, it's 3 weeks of tape against garbage teams. And you know why I say they're garbage? Because the Commanders are awful. Yeah, they're terrible.
They have Carson Wentz.
Good God.
We'll get to that later.
And then you got the Giants, who this week threw for 61 yards passing. So I don't know how amazing that is. You remember the 4 weeks that Dak had during his contract year where he threw for all these yards and all these touchdowns, and then what happened?
Yeah.
He was trash down the way. Here's my thing with Cooper Rush. He is doing his job. But the reason why you're a backup and you're not a starter is because you don't have the talent to be a starter. Why did people think that Mitchell Trubisky was a viable starting quarterback? Is because they realized they forgot about him. He sat behind Josh Allen for a year. They're like, oh, you know what? He can be our starting quarterback for a little bit. Wrong. Gone. Terrible. Cooper Rush is better than Mitchell Trubisky, which is really saying a lot.
Thank you.
But here's the also problem. When you are limited in your talent, you can only go so far. Unless you're the Ravens defense of 2001 and you got Trent Dilfer as your quarterback. 2000, excuse me. See, that's a real fan. You know what your players are capable of, what they're not. Cooper Rush is the best backup in football. I expect him to beat bad teams. And the reason also I'm not giving credit to the Bengals is he beat the Bengals before the Bengals got right. Now the Bengals getting right. Cooper Rush couldn't see the Bengals right now.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is there a controversy? No. But would I be shocked if Dak says he's healthy and then they don't play him because they want to see another Cooper Rush game, they get destroyed and then Dak's mad. Could I see that? Absolutely, because Jerry Jones wants attention. That's why the Cowboys are worth $2.5 billion. $5 billion. See, we're $5 billion. It's not because they good. It's not because they're good. It's because Jerry Jones is about entertainment. I'm about hype. I'm about hyping up a bad product. That's what the Cowboys are. They're bad product. Cooper Rush is bad product that he's hyping up.
All right. As an Eagles fan,
It's not even Eagles fan. I'm telling the truth.
I'm gonna be completely unbiased.
Look, he's 75% true. Even
No,
if
I'm gonna be completely unbiased in this situation. We're gonna break down some bad logical reasoning. You're a backup quarterback because your talent sometimes has not been discovered. Kurt Warner was a backup quarterback. Am I saying he's Kurt Warner? No. But sometimes you haven't been found yet. Jeff Garcia was a backup quarterback. Sometimes you haven't been found.
Right.
I think Cooper Rush, if we're gonna be honest.
I want you to stop before everybody watching. You need to pray that you just compared Cooper Rush to Kurt Warner.
I didn't compare.
Yes, you did.
No, I
you
didn't.
put him in the same sentence
Lord have
and said,
mercy.
"Oh my God, he's not discovered." Cooper Rush not discovered.
You a Republican.
I need
you don't listen. You don't listen.
I need you to understand what you just said.
dog.
But keep going.
This
All
is
right.
not Fox News, okay?
I want you to understand.
We listen to everything.
Go ahead.
Just because you're a backup don't mean you can never be a starter.
yeah, he's starting right now.
We thought arm strength was a problem. He has an adequate arm. I'm not saying this.
Yeah.
He has an adequate
Yeah.
arm. He reads defenses pretty well.
Absolutely.
And he's not yet making the mistakes
Absolutely.
that are going to lose you the game. Those are things you want in a quarterback.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. Okay. Now, the reason why this is even a conversation,
Because Jerry Jones.
no, it's because Dak doesn't have a rapport with CeeDee Lamb, and they want CeeDee Lamb to be that guy.
That's the owner's fault. It's still Jerry Jones' fault. It's his fault because you want this because you traded Amari away.
Well, that's
It's
partially-
still his fault.
He's still their most explosive receiver. I don't think he's top 10.
He has hands of stone.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I'm just saying, of their receiving core,
I understand.
if they're gonna go anywhere, it's gotta go through him.
You're right, but
So they're not going anywhere.
Ooh, I like that. But no, okay. If I'm being objective, okay.
But okay, since he's been in there, see. We gotta tell the whole story.
Tell the whole
since
story.
he's been in there, CeeDee Lamb's looked better.
Oh, absolutely.
He's looked night and day versus how he looked with Dak.
Of course.
And so we gotta say that. Two, since he's been in there, they've had to focus on the run game. So Tony Pollard all of a sudden looks like an NFL player again. Zeke, I don't know why they're not giving him enough touches, but Zeke looks better.
No.
Zeke looks better.
Zeke ran for 25 yards.
No, but Zeke
22.3 yards a carry.
See, you in the numbers.
14 carries.
What your eyes tell you? Last year when Zeke was running, Zeke
He
looked
looked
like
just as slow yesterday as
No.
he did last year.
Last year-
game,
last
he looked
year,
a lot better.
He looked like he was carrying a refrigerator on his back.
Yeah, okay.
Right now, I see burst. I see him getting
How do
away
you
from
burst for 2.3 yards carry? How?
Have
How?
you seen that line?
Yeah.
So, okay, it's hard to run for quality yards when they hand me the ball and they wrapping my legs up right away. Like, I'm not putting that on him. But when, in passing plays and when he does sneak away, I do see better burst than I saw a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's 2016 Zeke.
No.
I'm not saying that.
We can't.
I'm just saying he looks better.
I just want to, after all this conversation, the Cowboy season still ain't changing.
See, that sound cute. Have you been watching their defense?
Their
Because
defense is legit.
top 3.
Their defense is legit.
Their defense and
Micah Parsons
that
is
defense
real.
will carry you somewhere.
They carrying this offense
But
to a Super Bowl?
no, they're not.
We
But-
don't know because the NFC is unknown.
But-
other than the Eagles, and the Eagles ain't played nobody.
But neither have the Cowboys.
No, I agree.
So the only real team that the Cowboys played was the Bucks and lost. So and they caught
watch
the
this.
and they caught the Bengals.
But watch
at the wrong
this.
time.
They lost to the Bucks. Cooper Rush ain't played. So if Cooper Rush had played, maybe that game would have been. I'm done.
See now you causing issues. See now
I'm I'm just stating the fact. Cooper Rush did not play.
You sound like Skip Bayless right there. That's what he sounds like.
Cooper Rush did not play. That's all I'm saying.
If you gave Cooper Rush 8 weeks of film, Cooper Rush would show us.
We don't know that. That's an assumption.
Yes, we do.
You know, this is funny.
Yes, we do.
We had the conversation about Dak in 2016.
It's the same problem with Dak. Dak has the same issue. You get tape on Dak, and you know exactly what's about to happen. You get tape. You know what he cannot do.
Or they just bad coaches.
Oh, well, Mark McCarthy's terrible.
I
have
that's
to
a given. What?
But I will say this. Hold on. I will say this. This is what I will say. I will give the Cowboys credit for this. They told Cooper Rush, do not play scared.
And he has.
I will, because
he has not.
Now you said like I'm a numbers guy. I do like numbers, but I'll give him this. He ain't thrown for more than 250 yards, but they the most effective 250 yards I've ever seen.
That's my point.
No, you are telling the truth. He is not playing scared, but I get why Dak plays like that, because you got a $40 million refrigerator on your back that you got to live up to. And look, if we're gonna be honest, he not worth $40 million.
No, he not. And then last year they had a running back that couldn't run, and I said don't extend Zeke because I knew
and you were
what
right.
was coming. When you run him into the ground like that, I knew negative returns on that.
Murray.
So I'm not saying Dak is a bad quarterback.
No.
But Dak likes certain kind of receivers. They traded that receiver away for a 5th round pick because he wouldn't get a COVID vaccine, and so it is hindering who Dak is.
Terrible.
Do I think they're a Super Bowl team? That's not what I'm saying. No. Do I think Cooper Rush is a franchise quarterback?
No.
I ain't saying all that either. But is he proving to be serviceable more than we thought he was 3 weeks ago? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll give you that.
Things you need to pay attention to. And I know he's paying attention to this.
Absolutely.
Are the Eagles the best team in the league?
No.
Objectivity.
No.
From a Republican?
First off, let's not talk about political affiliations. Trump should go to prison. But listen, this is what I gotta say. Are we the best team in the NFL? Absolutely not. We're not better than the Chiefs. We're not better than the Bills. I'm objectively even saying we might not even be better. You catch us on a given day, we might be better than the Raiders. Because of their talent. But look, are we the best team in the NFC? Yes. I think we're the best team in the NFC. The Packers, I would have said were better than us, but then I saw them play the Patriots. And I was like, what was his name? Bailey Zappi? Is that man's name?
Look.
You let him look serviceable as a quarterback, and he's been the third string for 2.5 years.
He a rookie.
Oh, I'm sorry. He a rookie. He looked like, his name sounded like he'd been in the league 7 years. This is what I gotta say about this. I think we're the best team in the NFC, but here's my problem with all this. This has a Dak-esque feel to it.
Ooh.
It does. Ooh. You've played the Commanders. You played the. Nah, I can't bag on the Jags because the Jags they had a top 5 defense, so I can't bag on the Jags. But you also had your worst game against a top 5 defense, and you threw a pick. Now again, it's raining. It was a bad looking game overall. Trevor Lawrence had a bad game too. So both quarterbacks didn't play well. But you've played bad teams and you've succeeded. So I need to see, how do you play against Dallas? How do you play against the better teams in
the Dallas you just spent 10 minutes berating?
But what did I say about their defense though? Their defense is legit.
I give you that.
Michael Parsons is it.
I give you that.
So if you can play against Dallas, you can play against the better defenses in the league, and you can keep putting up these numbers, I don't expect him to throw for 350 yards or 330 yards a game. I'm okay with him pass for like 250, 270, 2 touchdowns. I'm good with that. I don't need that because our running game is so legit. But I think we're the best in the NFC, but I'd still only put us maybe 3rd or 4th at the end of the day. So no, not the best team in the league, best team in the NFC.
I'm going to give a former Eagle, Emmanuel Acho, answer here. The Eagles are the most consistent team in the league. All right. They know what they are, and they consistently execute the same way every week. Again, once we start playing better, they start playing better competition. We're going to see if they can consistently carry on throughout the rest of the season.
I agree.
You know what?
It's all true.
I chose famous, and I get that. But that's that difficult conversation with a black man answer. You ain't said a whole lot of nothing.
No. Look. On difficult conversations, he speaks. It's on sports that he gives those.
Yeah,
the Eagles are the most consistent team. Look.
Here go the truth. You are what your record says you are. You can't.
That's not true.
You are what your record says you
The
are.
Cardinals were 6-0 last year and ended 11-6.
They were an 11-16.
So they were also a 6-0 team?
At that
Best
moment.
team in the league?
At that moment.
Okay.
You can only play who you can play. You are what your record says you are. They're 4-0. Hey, now, does 4-0 tell you everything? No. 4-0 just tells you that they beat everybody on their schedule. You are what your record says you are.
This is true.
I feel like they're probably the second or third best team in the league. The only team that I would put them in a matchup and say they are definitively, no matter where they play, underdogs to, are Kansas City Chiefs. Definitively. If you're playing in Buffalo, I favor Buffalo. If you're playing in Philly, I would favor Philly slightly. Because that defense would get after him. He don't like being touched. He's becoming very Brady-esque. Every time he get touched, he's looking at the rim. He's too big for that. He's too big for that. And so the Eagles gonna put a hat on him. I think they're better than the Bengals. I think so. I'm totally about the fact that I think they're a pretty good team. Mm-hmm. You want to see him have to come from behind.
Right.
Yes.
You do want to see what happens when they get down. Mm-hmm. But he's playing well and he's utilizing things the right way.
That's fair.
So I think right now the Eagles are the best team in the NFC.
Yes. And we all agree.
So your boy, because he your boy, you like that joker. Josh McDaniels, that's your friend. They got off the schneid. I'm going to go first, though. Mm-hmm. They going to be all right if they do what they did yesterday.
Thank you.
Y'all, everybody, Josh Jacobs is this, Josh Jacobs 28 for 144. You'll take that every week. Ain't a week you won't take 28 for 144. And when they went 28 for 144, oh, and by the way, in 2 tubs, if you go 28 for 144, time of possession. Now, mind you, it was versus that bad chef named Russ, who came
was coming. I knew this was coming.
I will say this about Russ. I'm objective. Mm-hmm. We saw a moonball yesterday, and he connected on it.
Yep.
When Russ is throwing moonballs,
everything looks good.
Everything looks different. Now, obviously, it wasn't Judy and them who catching it, which bench him. Because he had a drop again yesterday that would have been. Jared Judy, look, he's so talented.
He is.
He's uber talented, but he's not productive. So I don't care how talented you are. If you're not productive, I can't use you.
I mean, he was productive. He just had the worst drop. Well, no, the second worst drop. No, the third worst drop of his career. And you know what the worst part about it is? He's only had 3 drops. He's only had 3 drops in his career, and they are terrible.
That's how they register him. I didn't see Mo. I'm just not a Judy guy. Like, I want to be. Yeah. Like, okay, I felt like coming out, Patrick Surtain was the best corner in that.
Absolutely.
And Patrick Surtain is.
He a dog.
Look.
He was holding. He was holding well. Adams. Adams had 100 yards, but he made him work.
He made him work to go get it. He made him work to go get it. So I like Patrick Surtain. I'm glad you can see it. With Judy, it's like I saw it in college. I don't see it now.
You see it in flash spots.
Yeah,
and that's a frustrating.
Time out. You ain't gonna tell me Cortland Sutton not better.
They different receivers though. I can't say.
You can be different receivers. You be the X. You be the wide and all that.
Yeah, no. They have different jobs.
Cortland Sutton better at his job.
No, you right on that.
Okay, but that's all.
Okay,
but back to the Raiders. I'm not willing to say that yesterday was like, it opened the faucet to this run they're about to go on or whatever, but they got Devontae the ball.
They did.
They moved him around. They ran the rock.
Yep. And
they did just enough to win. And in this league, you take a W anyway you get it.
Oh, a win's a win. But you know what I give that one? Golf clap. Golf clap. Look, like you said, this ain't no turning point for the season. Mm-hmm. Denver trying to figure it. Russ ain't cooking. He got some bad ingredients. Can't cook at the high level in Denver. I don't know what it is.
It's the altitude that changes everything.
So, but I'm not saying it's a division win. Even a bad team can win in their division.
Okay.
So, like, I'm not on to next week.
I mean, so here's my thing. I thought they were going to win anyway. Something wrong with the Broncos. I don't know what.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett.
He is a problem, which is bad because you were first year head coach in like your 4th week. This ain't good. But
I'm going to throw something out there real quick.
Go.
Speaking of Nathaniel Hackett, there's this guy that's available who wants to coach again.
Oh no.
His name is Mr. Payton.
Well,
and he's worked with a short quarterback. And he's been very successful.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Him and Russ, no disrespect to Pete Carroll, but he'd be the greatest offensive mind that Russ has ever worked with.
Russ might be something.
And since you've already mistakenly invested $200 million in Russ,
wow.
No disrespect to Mr. Hackett, we might have to let you go to make that $200 million investment worth it.
It's only 164 guaranteed.
Yeah, but they're not getting out of it.
I know.
Yeah. So
look, you bring Sean Payton in,
Oh yeah, if you bring Sean Payton in, Russ, that offense looks gangbusters. That's put Judy and Sutton in that out.
Because Judy would be in that offense.
He'd be a slot.
But in Payton's offense, all of a sudden Payton had
Eric Decker,
Michael Thomas,
and
then who's my guy from Hofstra that used to be down there?
Marcus Colston.
Yeah. So he know how to take that outside. And get,
Marcus Colston was nice.
Yeah. Marcus Colston was so
it was nice.
I don't want to see nobody get fired, but Sean Payton with that team, that'd be a great team.
I'm not for people getting fired, but you know sometimes you ain't ready.
No, that's fair.
You know what's not ready? No, Jonathan Darren's not ready. But go ahead.
I'm gonna give him a little bit more time. I know this. He don't have a lot of time after that meeting they had last week.
Look, this is what I know for sure. This is what I know. The Raiders are better than their now 1-3 record.
That's fair.
They lost. Every loss they've had combined is 8 points. They've only lost by 8 points. They should have beat the Cardinals. That was atrocious. That was one of the worst games
that was a bad loss
ever seen. That was one of the worst. And then they lost week 1. Fine. But you know who does not like Josh McDaniels? Darren Waller. Darren Waller does not like Josh McDaniels.
It's because
but here's the problem with Darren Waller. They just paid him. He is making tight end top 1 money.
Yeah.
And he has the most amount of catches he had in a game is 5. And the most amount of yards, you ready for this? Darren Waller, we talking about top 5 tight end in the league?
Absolutely.
The most yards he has is 45 yards. And that's a problem.
Well, if you think about it this way, one thing I remember from Patriots is Belichick did the tight end thing. That wasn't a part like Belichick told Josh McDaniels to adapt that. Josh McDaniels is not a big tight end receiver guy.
Time out. Hold on. That's incorrect. When Belichick did the tight end thing, Josh McDaniels was not in New England at first. When he drafted Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, he was actually in Denver. So when he came back, it was just Gronk because the Hernandez stuff had just started. So because he went to St. Louis and then he came back to New England. So you're right. It was a Belichick thing that McDaniels wasn't a part of.
So when you sit here and you even see in Denver, because even with Tebow and everything, the tight end was a blocker.
Right.
So Waller, who's an offensive threat, you just gave him a coach that turns tight ends to block.
Man, and look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Mark Davis, he don't like spending money he don't want to spend, and he just gave him a brand new contract. And look,
and you don't know how much he still owe Gruden, even though he quit.
Man, that's
a whole nother thing.
But look, this is what I'm saying right now. They're not their record. Do I see them? I see them having a winning record by the end of the year. I think they're going to come out of the schneid that they were in. But I see him being what? 10-7, 9-8. Like I see him like right in there. They gonna be alright.
Is they making the playoffs?
No.
We thought before the year that they were better. The defense hasn't improved enough, and the offense still trying to figure it out. I will say the Waller conversation this offseason is going to be interesting because while it's a big tight end number, it's not an immovable.
It's not. No.
So,
and any team would love to have
so you got to look and see what would the negative cap be on their end. And I tell you, there are certain teams that will line up to go get a tight end that can do what Darren Waller does. So we'll see. All right. Your boy.
It's my favorite topic.
Your boy.
Oh, here it is.
Matt Rule. Then lost another.
Yo.
Don't
fire him.
We firing people.
What the heck you mean?
Don't fire him.
We firing people in college left and right.
We're not firing Matt Rule. No.
Can we? I'm gonna start this off.
We're not firing Matt Rule. No.
I know that Baker has a lot of fans, and people thought Baker Mayfield was gonna take this team to the playoffs. I just want to shout this out. Baker Mayfield's QBR yesterday was 7.4. 7.4. Ladies and gentlemen, that's on a scale from 0 to 100, with 50 being average. 7.
Mine's 48.
His QBR for the year is like 14.
It is the
It's atrocious
thing.
And the fact that they won't go to somebody else tells you how bad the NFL is.
But
because we say it's the meritocracy of talent, it's not.
It's not.
It's about contracts and assets and there is no metric that Baker Mayfield should be a starting quarterback of that team right now.
Nope.
This Baker Mayfield, we see it in the NBA all the time, but Baker Mayfield will be the first bust in the NFL in this social media era, where maybe your social media following and your fans put you into the #1 spot, and you didn't live up to it in the NFL.
So Baker Mayfield was like Anthony Bennett.
Oh, that was the worst decision. I don't know. Cleveland was smoking something.
I don't know. No one saw that. No one.
Cleveland was smoking something. Now look, Nerlens Noel turned out to not be that guy.
Both in Cleveland. I'm just saying.
Can we say that the only touchdown, I told y'all, the only throw he can throw is seam routes. And the touchdown he threw yesterday to CMC was a seam route down the middle of the field. Like, that's all he can do.
But Baker, I have no faith in. Matt Rule, I have no faith in.
And I'm going to tell you what happened with Baker in Cleveland. It's their fault.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is.
They missed on Deshaun. And they're looking and they're like, that should have been our guy. We're going to take a risk this year because we wouldn't risk the year before. And you reached. Look, Sam Darnold wasn't it. You were scared of my man in Buffalo because coming out of Wyoming, he a little wild. We didn't know if he was accurate. And they were saying Lamar was a running back. Josh Rosen had attitude problems. So they felt like, again, fandom, based off of what was available, we're getting the safest of them.
But you can't teach 6'5", 250. I'm sorry. I don't care if he is wild. You can't teach 6'5", 250.
Yeah, but he was 6'5", 250, throwing like 58%.
I know. I understand that.
Baker was so accurate in college. There was just this fear.
He was throwing to track stars.
He was throwing to Hollywood Brown, who you can't say. I just want to throw that out there.
No, look, I gotta own this. I own my mistakes. Last week,
come on,
that catch by Hollywood Brown was beautiful. It was beautiful. I said
and
to this man,
that was his second tub of at least 6 that he gonna get this year.
He is the second tub. But this is what I said. I said if he makes catches like that, I gotta come on here and retract what I said because that was an amazing catch. And the toe tap at the end, oh, it was beautiful. But look, we're not gonna divert. This is what we talking about, Baker Mayfield. We talking about this is my favorite topic. I get up every morning saying thank you God for allowing me to be alive in a time where I can talk about Baker Mayfield and I can just examine his terrible play and I can just love that this man is the #1 overall pick. and you left Josh Allen, you left Lamar Jackson on the board. Oh, this gives me joy. It really does.
His hate.
Oh, it's
Baker Mayfield's etched on his heart.
it's right here. It's my favorite thing. Here's why it's my favorite thing. I was talking to my wife the other day. I said, babe, do you understand why I love this? Is because if he was just a guy and he understood his talent and where it could take him,
It'd be different.
I'd be fine with him. I would actually root for Baker because
it's the arrogance.
It's the arrogance. It's the audacity that you think you are somebody, but your talent and your stats show you're just a guy. And not only you just a guy, you're a guy that needs everything perfect to get it right. You need the best. You need one of the top 5 running backs in the league. You need a top 3 offensive line. You need Odell Beckham.
He had all that, and
he's still trash. But you know what? I pride myself on being objective. Hold on. I'm not done. This is Baker Mayfield. I gotta talk about him. I pride myself being objective, right? He did have an 11-game stretch.
Oh dear God!
So where he was 20, he threw 20 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That was 11 games. Baker Mayfield, since those 11 games, has had the worst stretch I have ever seen. But let's call a spade a spade. You have a terrible offensive line, but you also have a top 15 wide receiver, and you have arguably the top, what we call him, top 5 talented running back in the league with CMC.
CMC, yeah.
So you have 2 weapons, and you won't use either. I don't understand how
he's non-violent.
Look, I'm only asking you to count to 2. You only got to count to 2. You got 1, and you got 1 to your left and 1 behind you. You figure it out. Do I hand it or do I throw it? And I don't care if DJ Moore's covered. Just throw it to him. See what happens.
Okay.
Just throw the ball and see what happens.
But okay.
Actually, no, don't do that because it'll throw picks. So let's not say that.
This is what I'm gonna say. Nothing you said was wrong. Nothing. You might have even been too nice to him. But here's the problem. Mm-hmm. And this is what's gonna be said, and this is why he's gonna get another chance.
Why?
Because Matt Rule is terrible. Matt Rule is ungodly terrible.
Don't fire him.
Let me tell you what.
Don't fire Matt Rule.
This is how terrible he is.
Mm-mm. Don't fire him.
Yesterday, Sunday, CMC got 8 carries. Mm-hmm. And the backup running back got none. It was a 1-possession football game. Chuba Hubbard has 4 carries for the season. Now you might say, okay, he in the doghouse, but ain't nobody else carrying it either.
He's not in the doghouse. He a good player. They like him.
Allegedly. Well, allegedly, because the numbers don't show that.
You're right.
Matt Rule's offense, he may be a great college guy, and then they got my man McAdoo that was in New York.
McAdoo, yeah. Which he shouldn't have got that job, so he should have got another one.
Ben McAdoo was bros in high school.
Look, I called Ben McAdoo Richie from Out for Justice with Steven Seagal because that's what he looked like. Everybody see Richie? Go look it up. Now that's who Ben McAdoo looked like with a cheesecake menu in his face. But they both terrible. They haven't built an offense that. What is the base of their offense? They're not a running team,
which I don't get.
They're not a passing team,
which is obvious.
I think they be playing any Miami Mo with the playbook. Honestly,
I like. Is their base a 3 receiver set? Is it 2 tight ends?
They ain't got tight ends. Like you know what, man? I'm so glad you brought this up. You have a good young tight end that with Sam Darnold was serviceable.
Tremble.
Yeah.
And
he is the worst tight end in the league right now. He had a drop last week that I was watching and I said, oh my God, I cannot believe he dropped that. But then I remembered and I said to myself, who is my quarterback? I'm going to drop this ball and I'm going to put it out there. I think these wide receivers are purposely not giving him any additional help.
I know this.
I'm going to say that right now because DJ Moore, I know he's not getting the passes, but when he gets passes, DJ Moore not fighting for balls. You know, Terrence Marshall, who's not great, he not fighting for balls. CMC don't look like he fighting. They like, I'm just trying to be here. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up because human nature is when you have what you deem as bad leadership, your effort subconsciously goes down. Your pep in your step subconsciously goes down. In Pittsburgh yesterday, the kid comes in and everybody gets more energetic and gets more hype. And I want to say, I told you so. They put the kid in and the crowd goes crazy and they're cheering. And Mitchell Trubisky was Mitchell Trubisky yesterday. He wasn't doing nothing special, wasn't doing nothing great. Y'all were still in that game. And you put the kid in. And in the second half, he threw 3 picks.
Ooh, that was bad.
And we're cheering because, oh, he got a rushing touchdown.
And see, this is my thing.
He is not ready for prime time. And I told y'all that. And now what you going to do? You can't put him in there and he throw 3 picks looking like Nathan Peterman and then want to come back and be like Mitchell Trubisky. Tell me he look like Peterman.
This man said Nathan Peterman.
Man, that was
wow.
That man went to therapy for that. Like,
Man, he did. He had to go to therapy for all
You throw 5 picks and a half, you should.
Look.
What's the worst way you can start your first NFL
Look, we
game?
gonna talk about Kenny Pickett in a second, all right? But let's not deviate from the topic at hand,
He is the top.
which is the terrible nature of the Panthers in general. But I will say this is what I will say. We'll leave it at this. Do not fire Matt Rule, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because every single spot Baker Mayfield has come to, he has an excuse.
And Matt Rule's already his
But
excuse.
no.
You said fire him before Baker was training.
First off, I didn't say that. I said,
Oh, I did.
No.
They
I don't need.
They should have bought him.
They should have paid him in the first place, but it's too late now.
But they
now
should
you're
have bought
here.
him back.
It don't matter. If you fire him, you get an excuse for Baker, which means that
It's already built in.
Look. No, it's not. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not built in. Because you've had bad coaches before, right? You're supposed to overcome, right? You're supposed to be number one pick, right?
Watch. I'm gonna tell you this.
Overcome, Baker.
Watch
right?
this.
That's you.
I'm gonna tell you
overcome.
this. Right
here.
Write this down because this was gonna happen. Baker Mayfield is gonna be on the free agent market, and he's gonna be a backup quarterback, right?
Good. That's where he should be.
Watch. He gonna end up in Dallas. Write it down.
Yes. That I support
Write it
this.
down.
Jerry
Write it
Jones.
down. Jerry Jones. If you,
For the league minimum, he's gonna be there and watch it cause a controversy.
this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm putting it on camera. Everybody write this down. Write it down in sheets. Write it down in your notes. If the Dallas Cowboys get Baker Mayfield and there becomes a quarterback controversy, I will buy a Baker jersey because I just want to see it. I would love the meltdown of the Cowboys with Baker Mayfield. Oh, the drama, the storyline. I will buy a Cowboys jersey, and I will get it custom made. It'll say Baker on the back. It ain't gonna say Mayfield. It's gonna say Baker. I want everybody to understand what I'm talking about. I will buy a Cowboys jersey, and what he says comes to pass.
I see it.
Oh, I'm here for it.
I want to see the preparation for your Skip Baylesses.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the
that's what I need
preparation
Yeah.
for you to preach Dallas Cowboy doctrine with these type of meltdowns.
Oh, I'm here for
Look,
it.
before we need to go back to Pittsburgh, but real quick. But I do want to point out one thing about your boy Baker. Real quick. All right. Baker, right before he was drafted, reenacted the Brett Favre picture, right? Remember, right? He reenacted, right?
Yeah.
That was something he had in common with Brett Favre. And there's something.
From Hicks?
No.
Man, I was.
You know,
You
Brett
gonna say that man stealing money?
Yes! He's stealing the money! Brett Favre's stealing the money, they stealing the money. Let's talk about Pittsburgh.
All right, fellas. Here's the question.
Okay.
Our boy Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Is that about to change this
I prophesied at the beginning of the season this would be his first losing season.
Not a prophecy.
I prophesied.
Oh.
Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett is not taking you to a winning season.
Juanita Bonham, you need to calm down.
No, I mean, like, look, I felt sorry for him because I felt like y'all done set him up for success. Like, this man has never had a losing season. You like, bad. Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I don't disagree that he wasn't set up for success. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Mike tried to build men and make them great, but there's got to be greatness in the man to make him great.
Wow.
I don't know. First of all, Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, that's Mitchell Trash Can. We already know who he
So
is.
there ain't no greatness in there. But I'm gonna go even further. I don't know if there's greatness in Najee Harris.
I told you. I
try to be nice.
I told you this would happen. I told you. What?
They are a different team if Najee can run.
Yeah.
He can never run.
That's what I'm saying. If he can run, he can't. And so your offense is hope Pickett can make incredible catches because your boy Chase Claypool is not doing it. It ain't giving what it's supposed to give. And
and that's my thing. And again, why I believe I don't care if you're Andrew Luck prospect, Peyton Manning. I believe every new quarterback needs to sit at least a year. You are now telling this young quarterback that you need to save our season. And this is the pressure you put on the young quarterback.
Speaking of that, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. He needs to play.
He needs
these important reps.
He does.
These important reps turning 3 turns. He gave that game away.
Okay.
He should have beat the Jets.
Whoa. First off, you're not going to disrespect the Jets. They are not as bad as they have been. Say I'm lying.
He gave them 3 picks. Of course they didn't.
Okay. But here's my problem.
He gifted them.
Okay. But here's
The first one, double coverage.
First off, what you're saying is actually proving my point. He doesn't make this mistake if he's been playing since the first game. You know why? Because
come on.
Well, go ahead, please.
So Baker learned from his mistakes.
No, but Baker
been playing for 5 years.
Yeah, but Baker had an 11-game stretch. Remember?
Has Mitchell Trubisky learned from his mistakes?
Man, no, he hasn't.
So your logic that he would have learned in these 4 games is kind of broken.
But look at all. But you know what? I hate that I'm gonna have to do this, but I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna give Baker and Mitchell a pass for a second, and here's why. The talent that Kenny Pickett has around him is not the talent that Baker Mayfield nor Mitchell Trubisky had when they came into the league. So
say what?
It's not.
Oh, so you're saying theirs is better?
No. I'm saying that the talent that he has at wide receiver and supposedly running back
is better than what they had.
You have George Pickens, who I think is nice. You got Deontay Johnson, who is a legit wide receiver, and supposedly Chase Claypool, and you got a running back there. If you have played him from week 1, are you going to struggle? Yeah. Are you going to make it to the playoffs? We already knew they weren't going to do that. But is he going to look 3 picks against I think the Jets a top 12 defense? Yes. If you played him from the beginning, you're going to go through the growing pains, but it ain't going to be as shocking as you coming in the half and throw 3 picks. You have not he played at Pitt. He didn't play against any real defense. You're not coming from the SEC. You're not seeing top tier defenses. You should have played him from the beginning. You knew Mitchell Trubisky wasn't it. You knew that. So you should have just ate the L. So let him get his reps.
This is what you missing. Let's say you're right. They knew Mitchell wasn't it.
They knew that.
If they make the decision to go with Mitchell and we know he not it, why'd we make that decision?
Because Mike Tomlin, like you said, he's like, I think I can get something out of Mitchell Trubisky. Or
he's so far behind, we'd be doing him a disservice to put him out there.
See, I think that might be valid, but here's my problem. You were forced to go to him because he was. So if really, why did you go to Mason Rudolph? Because
they made him third string for whatever reason.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
and he trashed too.
Okay. So if Mitchell Trubisky is trash, which we already know Mason Rudolph can't throw more than 6.5 yards. Give it to Kenny Pickett. See what you got.
Okay, but
because I agree that I think all rookie quarterbacks should have to sit? No. Because I've seen Cam, I've seen Kyler,
I don't think all, but Kenny needs to sit his hind part. Damn.
But here's my problem. You don't got the option. Because if you really believe that, if he was so far behind, right, that we're saying he was, then guess what? What's the harm of giving Mitchell another 2 games? Give another 2 games. But you can't.
But I want to get into that real quick because Tomlin a week ago at the press conference.
now that
was adamant. It's not a conversation. So something happened,
And that's when you get the
made
pressure
it
from
a
the top.
conversation.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
But all right, look. This is why you couldn't start Kenny Pickett. How do you feel about Tomlin as a coach?
He's one of the best coaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's decent team overall. All right. Organization is
Top
very,
tier.
very good.
Yep. Top tier.
All right. What you have to realize is Trevor Lawrence last year, if he stunk it up, Urban Meyer is the scapegoat. Urban Meyer was a toxic situation, right?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence gets a fresh start.
Right.
If Kenny Pickett went in this year and he sucked, well, Mike Tomlin's a good coach. This is a good organization.
Okay.
The team's decent around you. That's therapy. That's not, you get a fresh start the next season.
No, we got to stop.
Oh, Jesus!
5 minutes later.
It's your boy. He wasn't even the starter, but we're not gonna go there. How is he still starting currently? Because he, other than one quarter, has been abysmal.
Look, he's still starting because, like D said, they all QBs, rookie QBs should sit. That's all I got, man. Honestly, that's all I got.
Your boy is named after the beer.
Taylor Heineke?
He ain't a rookie.
He not, but you know what? That's really sad that you said we'd rather stick with Carson Wentz than go to Taylor Heineke.
This we need to do.
Oof, that's bad.
I know NFL teams is praying for this. If they could take Carson Wentz's physical tools and put them in Taylor Heineke with his mental acumen, you'd have a real quarterback.
Not a real quarterback, y'all.
But the fact that you can't do that,
look,
they stuck.
They're here's why they're stuck. They're stuck because they paid 2 third-round picks for him. That's why they're stuck. It's the same thing as like why the Panthers are stuck. Well, the Panthers are stuck with Mayfield because they don't have a viable option. Matt Corral's out for the year, and Sam Darnold still has a high ankle sprain.
And they have a backup play him because he can't be no worse than.
You're right, but Carson Wentz. See, the problem with Carson Wentz
2/3 is not going to handcuff me to this mess.
I understand that, but look at the owner. Who's the owner? Okay.
No, this is what we need to go to. The whole organization from head to toe needs a whole makeover. Like,
you're not wrong.
Like,
you're not wrong.
But the NFL ain't the NBA. It's not fit to happen.
It's not. Yeah.
Time out. Come on. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100 and be fair.
Man, it's
Deshaun had 26 cases. What is it? 11 games. So it don't matter what they find about this billionaire owner. They're not going. You know what I mean? They might suspend him for a year, and what he gonna do? Go chill on his
beach
$250 million yacht?
Right.
Like you live in a different life when it's like I'm gonna stay on the yacht as long as Congress tries to send me a subpoena. So as long as I'm not on the United States soil, they can't bother me.
First world problems.
Like that's 1% problem. Like,
problem, yeah.
That's different,
man.
So they're not taking the franchise. It's not going. I'm honestly surprised that the name change ever happened.
How did they choose the Commanders? You had the Generals just sitting there. And you wouldn't take it? Come on now. I can't. Y'all chose the Commanders.
General means lead.
Ooh, good God.
Yikes.
Good Lord. Okay.
Ooh.
I thought Commander did too, but whatever.
No, you could be a commander of losses.
Wow.
Dang, that was harsh.
Hey,
look, there was a movement when they were looking at the name change to keep the logo and just change it to Americans. He didn't want that because God forbid indigenous people be acknowledged as Americans. So that was problematic. Number one.
The Washington Americans?
That's what they wanted them to do. And then they were like, okay, call them the Nationals as well. So you'll have
that would work.
The NFL Nationals.
I wouldn't be mad with that.
He didn't want that. And then they paid for this survey team thing.
And they came with
look, it's Commanders. It ain't no worse than Guardians.
I would have. That's awful. But Listen, here's
Washington football team.
what. Look,
I would, because if you can do soccer club, you can do football team. Don't get me started on that garbage.
Annapolis is how far away?
Annapolis is 30 minutes away.
Why not just call yourself the Admirals and keep it pushing? It's 30 minutes away. Half the people probably work near or on the base. Just call yourself the Washington Admirals. That's actually kind of a dope name, and keep it moving.
No, it's
Come
not.
on now.
It's not bad.
But speaking of not having generals, look, Carson Wentz is.
He sure ain't a leader.
He's not.
He sure ain't a leader.
But see, I think that's the problem because you have a decent wide receiving core. You got Terry McLaurin, you got Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel.
It's a problem. It's not the only problem. The inaccuracy is a problem.
But that's what I'm saying.
Seeing ghosts is a problem.
But see, that's the thing with Carson Wentz, which I think keeps him the job, but also creates this level of frustration. Is he'll make even like in the game against the Eagles, he made 2 throws. You were like, good gracious, that was an amazing throw. And then the next play, he throws a pick. He just throws a pick, and you're just like, I'm so frustrated, but you can't forget about the pass he just threw. That's the problem.
Let me tell you what he is for me. You of Eagles fan, you remember Vic at the end with the Eagles?
Yeah.
When he was punch drunk, I remember specifically, Vic got hit in his chest and he grabbed his head. That Carson doesn't have the concussion problem that Mike had.
He has the ghost problem.
But he has the ghost problem. So, like, you watch him drop back, and there's this timidness, and he clutches because it's like, am I about to get hit?
Yep.
You notice he gets back in the pocket, and when he hits the plant leg, he ducks. Like, he's been through so much.
He's plumbing. And that's the sad part because both of them are immensely talented. But
Physically, I don't know.
No, well, I mean, look, we can't take away from Carson that in 2017 he was almost MVP. We can't take that away.
No, I can't take it away, but the screens and dump offs and like WP called perfect.
But like, that's what I mean. It's like he has a talent and he has the arm.
But his arm.
But the problem is up here. It's this, and it's the ghosts, and it's also what do we say about Mahomes? What have we always said about Mahomes? His footwork is what?
Terrible.
It's terrible. So if you got the arm,
and Winston is terrible because of the ghosts.
Exactly.
Like it's not traditionally like in practice you should go, he's good, but in the live fire,
yep.
Once you get hit once,
yeah.
And when you get sacked 9 times in a week, you start getting scared. All right, which team is more legit, the Seahawks or the Giants? And before we go, I just want to say, Chef Russ can't cook, but Gino been cooking better than him.
Oh yeah, he had Gino been
not by a lot.
No.
No. And it was Detroit. But I'm just saying, Gino's numbers.
It looks great.
And we thought Seattle was tanking. Gino said, not on my watch.
Hey.
Not yet. So, who do you feel like? The Seahawks are more legit or the Giants?
This is what I'll say. This is the only point I make on this subject. 61 passing yards. The answer is the Seahawks. And I'll leave it at that.
I trust Pete Carroll, his cheating ways, and Geno Smith, who doesn't write back, over Daniel Jones. So, Seahawks.
Hot takes.
Good Lord. He went back to his USC days. He wasn't cheating. That was giving them the compensation they deserved.
Wait, hold on. That's what he got caught for.
That's fair.
Pete Carroll from that old school thing. I feel Pete Carroll's a good coach. I feel like Pete Carroll could go to Carolina and do more than Matt Rule right now.
Well,
I could do better than Matt Rule.
That ain't hard. They ain't saying a lot. I'm going to tell you why I feel like it's the Seahawks. I feel like it's the Seahawks because, one, their division is not what we thought it was.
That's true. That's
we knew Arizona was down, but Arizona,
they're down bad.
And then
49ers don't know who they are.
Well,
with the quarterback situation.
The 49ers, 49ers to me is about the mentality.
Yeah.
If they play physical, if they run first, play action, and let that defense run, they're a different team. If you try to turn Jimmy Garoppolo into drop back 45 times, it's a problem. He ain't that dude, and the offense ain't set up for that. The reason why I'm picking Seattle though is because they can run the ball.
Yes.
And if Penny gonna run, and I know it's not gonna be Detroit every week, but if he can give you some semblance of that, and Geno can do enough, and
DK Tyler is real.
I know people forget about DK because he in the upper northwest.
Don't forget about DK.
DK is a problem.
Yes.
And what Geno should be thanking God for is DK's catch rating. Because he hit
Geno
one
ain't as
down.
accurate as he
He hit him one down the chimney, but there's a couple where DK like, okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
And that for a quarterback, you
Saving
appreciate
grace.
that.
He like that, and they needed time to build rapport and everything like that. So as they continue on through the season, I see Geno and DK having a great relationship. And look, this is one that I won't say this be a playoff team.
No, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
But
we just
you
talking about
can a winning season, 9-8.
I don't think they'll get to 9-8.
I don't know about 9-8, but I'll say.
But they'll make some playoff teams. They'll make them sweat.
They're gonna bother some teams
All right.
late.
Have they played any division games yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so with Jimmy G, you can split.
They'll lose both against 49ers.
With Jimmy G, you can split because Jimmy G can give you a gift.
Okay. I ain't know
For the Cardinals,
You might be both.
might play both of them.
Rams.
Lose both.
I might split.
This Rams team?
They'll still lose both of those.
I don't know.
And here's the reason why. They ain't got the back end to hold up against Cup, and they definitely ain't got the back end to hold up against.
No, their defense is not great, so I give you that. But we'll see. I just feel like the Giants is fraudulent, and I know they 3-1.
Oh, that's a fraudulent 3-1. But before we move on, let's come back and pay this man the respect he deserves. Saquon look.
Oh no, he looks
good this year.
That's why they 3-1.
Yeah, you're right.
Saquon ain't carrying them the whole season.
No, he can't. But look, Saquon look good.
But look, Saquon like I'm about to get paid this offseason.
He said, "Let me put that good tape."
I'm about to get paid.
Saquon, you need to get asked to be paid by another team.
No.
It's over.
He leaving. All right, sir. Fantasy. What the heck is going on? Geno Smith was the highest scoring quarterback in the league this week. Like,
he don't write back.
Man, I think.
Hey, it's getting trademarked. I gotta use it before he get a trademark.
Here's
he gonna keep talking about that. He gonna need his job broke. He don't write back. He don't pay his debts neither. Anyway,
you see, man, this has been breaking my head this whole week. This Geno Smith, top quarterback.
Jared Goff number 2.
Jared Goff number 2. This is a strange week for quarterbacks, but. When you play the 2 worst ranked defenses, like literally, the Seahawks are ranked 32nd and the Lions are 31st. So I mean, I know what you think. I know exactly what you think. I know, but here's the thing. Here's what I gotta say. Geno's looked good. Like in fantasy, he's looked good.
Oh, in fantasy,
he's been legit. Now, do I think he's an every week starter going forward? I still can't say that because they haven't touched their division games yet and they haven't played the winning teams yet. But look, if you need like a spot start and you're hurting and Geno on the wire and he's playing Arizona or he might be playing, you might even be able to sneak a 49er game in there. Look, you might be able to do that. So it's weird. But Geno looking all right. He's viable. He's viable.
That's a weird world to live in.
2022. Who'd have
Geno
thought?
Smith. All right. Was this the start of Austin Eckler having a run on touchdowns?
I'll say yes and no. So here's my thing.
He ain't getting 20.
He's not going to get 20. Very few running backs have ever broken 20 touchdowns. That's immense. Rushing, receiving, combined, whatever. But do I think Austin Eckler is going to be better than what they let on? Yes, but only to a degree. Here's the reason why. I don't trust the coaching staff to give Justin Herbert balance. And that's the problem is if you own Justin Herbert and you own Mike Williams and all that, you're going to be fine because they're going to throw the ball all around the yard. But if you're an Eckler owner, you are going to have weeks like weeks 1 through 3 where you're like, man, should I trade him? Because they don't give him balance, and for whatever reason, he's not seeing the targets that he was getting last year. Like right now, Austin Eckler, I think, only has 12 catches, which is outrageous to what, like, him and Christian McCaffrey are number 1 and number 2 in receiving running back, and they're not giving him the looks. So is he going to be the 20 touchdown overall running back 2, I think, last year? No. But I think he'll still be a top 10 running back. You'll still get those big weeks from him, but I just don't see it.
All right, this is a bonus one. This wasn't in the rundown. But is Jonathan Taylor Peyton Hillis II?
No. What's happening with Jonathan Taylor is this. The Colts' offensive line is not as good as people thought it was.
Besides Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. He deserved.
Quentin Nelson.
Who'd have thought a guard would be valued at $20 million a year? But he is. That man's a G. But that line is not that right. That man is not the entire line, unfortunately.
No, absolutely.
And so because of that, the line is being exposed a little bit. But I think the problem with Jonathan Taylor is I never thought he was going to be the running back 1 again anyway. He ran for 1,800 yards. He touched the ball over 300 times. We've seen what happens to running backs when they touch the ball over 300 times. Look at DeMarco Murray.
At the 350, it's right.
Yeah. Look at Najee Harris. Najee Harris hit 349. Look at him this year. And then, sadly to say, man, look at Zeke. You touch that 300 threshold, that next year going to look different. I think he's still going to be a top running back. Again, they have no one to throw to outside of Michael Pittman. And every 6th game, you got Mo Allie Cox come out of nowhere. But
that's one of our questions.
Yeah.
Mo Allie Cox is talented enough to be a top 12
he is.
tight end.
Absolutely.
Why aren't they using him more?
I think because when
they got 4 tight ends they run out there.
But see, that's the problem is Frank Reich. It's a Frank Reich problem. Mo Allie Cox, if you guys haven't seen his fantasy numbers when he blow up, he will pop up with a 27-point game. And you're like, why is he on waivers? Then you pick him up and next game you have 2. And then 0. And then 0 again. And you drop him, then he'll get 17. And you don't know what to do. So they won't use him because they're always infatuated with that young tight end. Always. It's either, who was it before? Was it Hunter Henry that they had that one year? Before he went over to New England, they had some tight end. They were like, oh my God, he's going to be the second coming. Mo Allie Cox took his job. So again, they won't use him. Don't chase the points. Stash him if you need him, but he there if you need him, but don't. It ain't going to be pretty.
All right, last one. Do we owe Clyde-Edwards Helaire's apology?
No, absolutely not. He has 41 carries for 208 yards. That's 43rd in the NFL. No, you don't owe him. Here's what's saving him. Is his receiving yards. Because remember, what is his title? Running back. He had 9 carries for 0 yards last week. Let's just remember, okay? And then also, if you're new to fantasy football and you've never been around before, you might have forgot last year.
I agree. And I still don't think he's a starter. But what did I argue last week? It's hard as a bat when you don't give a rhythm. This week they got him in a rhythm. Yeah. He got more touches. And I looked totally different.
True
against
story. That is
the top defense in the league.
That is true. But let's also say this. He got 19 carries for 91 yards.
No, he went over Buck.
Oh, did he go over Buck? Okay, so he went over Buck. Isaiah Pacheco went 10 for 62.
No, Isaiah Pacheco was a problem.
But see, here's the problem. You literally almost gave a third of the carries to another running back. Clyde-Edwards Helaire, at the end of the day, is a running back 2 that can give you running back 1 numbers every once in a while, but he also going to give you then 6-point weeks, 5-point weeks, a 2-point week, because what he also can't do is hold on to the rock. He will fumble. So
when you 5'2", it happens.
Hey, look, Kyler running is out right now, but whatever. This is what I'll say.
You proved my point.
Hey, if you need him, don't trade him. He's still a good running back too. I would say understand that there are going to be matchups where you should sit him. But if you need him and it's really coming down to it, you're like, man, I like the matchup.
That's what's weird, the matchup part. We would have said yesterday was the matchup that you don't play him and he has a big game.
Yeah, but again, like you said, that's why also he's not consistent is because of aim.
No, absolutely.
It's because the game plan also, you would think the game plan would be to throw the ball, but they decided to run the ball. Where a matchup against, the Raiders, who don't have a good running team, they'll throw the ball 55 times and give him 4 carries. So it's going to be hard for you. So keep him if you got him. Trade him after this week if you can for maybe a more consistent running back, but running back too. That's about it.
All right, I lied. This is the last one. You owe me.
Okay.
You owe me. So you mumped your gums and you I started Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Start him again.
4 points.
Start him again. He was also going against the number 2 pass defense in the league.
4 points. 4.
4. Start him again. Keep starting. Okay.
You know he's going to the bench.
That's fine. Okay. Who's your backup?
4 points. I don't even know. But
okay.
He gave me more than 4 points.
Okay. Look, you can go with backup.
No. You know my backup is, and this is why I'm mad at you. Jared Goff, my number 2.
Jared Goff is one of his better games.
You see, that's you not looking at the matchup.
No, I did. No. Hold on. No. This
Jared
Goff
Goff was supposed to have a good game yesterday.
It's the 32nd ranked defense.
But Amon St. Brown is hurt. DJ Swift is hurt. The other wide receiver was
DJ
hurt.
Chark is hurt.
So you're going into it like, who the Sam Hill is he throwing to?
Yeah,
now, I didn't know Hockerson was going. When the last time we saw Hockerson have a game like
2020.
that? So nobody saw this coming. All his targets were hurt. Like, I'm gonna sit him this week because he doesn't have the talent. And then,
so you know what? I'm happy that you actually picked up Trevor Lawrence and Jared Goff because they were both on my waiver wire ads. Unfortunately, you just started the wrong one. I can't help you with that. I can't give you that one. I can't help you with that.
You've been over here praising him like he's special.
I mean, he has
4 points.
Hey, look, he's 4 points. Start him next week. He gonna get you right.
We're gonna see.
He gonna get you right.
I just want to shout out Mike Evans. Thank you for saving me. Mike Evans. 2 tubs.
We appreciate you.
That game, sir.
We appreciate you being back.
And then San Fran's defense gave me a couple more points. I didn't even need them, but Mike Evans got me the dub.
Let's go.
Look, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. Please subscribe, comment, share. We'll see y'all later.
Y'all. Peace.